So this year I have taken on, I guess, logistical manager role for the 7th International Workshop on Hydrohegemony, sponsored by the London Water Research Group and the University of East Anglia's Water Security Research Centre. Last year I helped out at this conference and wrote up the proceedings for it. Grand fun, that's available online. It's a lovely little document with lots of conference ramblings. And so this year I'm doing a little bit more, both in terms of managing and helping to run the logistics of the conference, but also in doing some of the pre-conference planning and kind of thought pieces and theoretical framings of it. And this year we are focusing on counter-hegemonic action around hydrohegemony. So looking at places where there's water resource inequality, whether that's in an individual river basin or around the way we think and talk about water or whatever have you, and looking at how activism, advocacy, academia can work against that inequality, power imbalance, etc. So lots of interesting things happening, because we're looking both then, of course, at, like water policy and science and knowledge itself, but then also dipping into social change theory. So to help prep this, I've been asked to do a literature review on social change, because that's a small topic. So it's going to be a very targeted literature review because it can't actually be all that big. So mostly just kind of walking through some of the major schools of thought and then, kind of tapping into what's particularly relevant to us and to the focus of the conference. But so I thought I'd ramble about social change, so here we go. I'm Rebecca Farnum. This is Ramblings with Rebecca. I'm only 2 minutes into this episode as an intro. But social change, here we go. What the heck is social change? I know, a change that happens in the structure of society. Helpful. A very vague topic. Perhaps necessarily so, I would say, and actually one that kind of ebbs and flows in academia as far as the interest around it. There are debates around whether social change is a topic just for sociologists or only for historians. What disciplines have something to say about social change? At what level does it matter? Right? So my moving from Norwich to Edinburgh was a social change. Does that matter? Is that social change properly in, the grand scheme of humanity? That kind of thing. All kinds of fun debates. If you look kind of at the more macro levels, as far as big social change, shifts in major societal relations, things like the advent of agriculture, the Industrial Revolution, major shifts in political country hegemons, the creation of the United Nations, those kind of things are kind of macro, real social changes we might think of. There are also debates on what causes social change or processes, mechanisms of social change. Marxism is a very materialist concept of change. So humanity's history is based on materialistic economic struggle between classes, and that's what drives social change. It's that particular economic materialistic conflict. Hegelian dialectic, we talked about dialectic quite a while ago on Ramblings, is, doing the interaction, the back and forth that happens. So it's not just economic material changes, but it's people taking information and feeding it back and twisting with it in their heads and both reproducing but also tweaking, the way they interact in society and, a back and forth kind of thing. Other models might say, no, it's all about small activist groups, and activist groups can bring about social change more than, some kind of economic driving force. The agrarian and, agriculture is not the only kind of shifts that we've had societally. So I'm having fun playing around with all of that, and in particular looking at the role of academia in social change. Do we, in fact, have any point or purpose? Can we influence social change? And of course I'm hoping to say that yes we can, since that's what I'm planning to do with my life. But then the questions that I'm getting at, hopefully in the lit review and certainly in the conference, are how can academics bring about or help influence social change? When should we? Why should we? How should we? And what do we do about it?